Time now to take a look through the French newspapers, and for that I'm joined by Elena Casas. Hello, Elena. What are we starting off with?
Well, there's just 4 days to go now, Claire, and it's the candidates who are vying for third place that have got themselves the most front page attention this morning. Over at the front page of Le Figaro, Bayrou thinks he can be the referee or the kingmaker in the second round. Now, that was the role, of course, that he almost played in 2007 when he did come third with a surprise over 18% of votes. François Bayrou, the centrist candidate, it doesn't look like he's going to do anything like that well this time round. Some polls putting him even below 10%. That would mean he came in fifth, of course, behind Jean-Luc Mélenchon and Marine Le Pen. But does that then make him increasingly irrelevant? Well, no, that's what Le Figaro says in its editorial. They say both Hollande and Sarkozy's campaign teams are still convinced that they've got ground to win back from his voters because, of course, if anyone's going to change their mind between the first and second rounds, it's going to be his voters. They're the most flexible, if you like, and they're both ringing him off the hook to try and get his endorsement for their candidate for the second round. Sarkozy's team allegedly have even, publicly in fact, not allegedly, have indeed offered him the job of Prime Minister if he agrees to back them. Whether he'd take it or even wants it, of course, is a completely different question. Le Canard Enchaîné, the satirical newspaper, is looking at what his strategy is then for, indeed, not just after the first round, but after the second round. They reckon, quite contrarily to Le Figaro thinks that it would be more natural for him politically to back Nicolas Sarkozy. Their campaign platforms have more in common, even though he once called the current president a barbaric child, and says he has more in common personally with François Hollande. He gets on with him better, but they reckon he and Sarkozy are more natural political bedfellows. Le Canard Enchaîné, though, thinks that that he's betting effectively on Sarkozy losing badly, and then his party, the UMP, which was a disparate coalition of right-wing groups to start with, effectively implodes because of that electoral fall, and he can then construct a centrist party with the more moderate elements of the UMP.
So Bayrou stuck in the middle there, and as you were saying, it's looking increasingly unlikely that he'll come in third position. Jean-Luc Mélenchon and Marine Le Pen battling it out, it seems, for that third spot.
Yes, absolutely. L'Humanité, the communist paper, of course, backing Mélenchon all the way. They've got "Let's kick Le Pen out of the game" as their headline this morning. Now, they say anything that's good or anything that's bad for Marine Le Pen, is good for democracy. So even if you don't plan to vote for Jean-Luc Mélenchon, you should be pleased that he's rising above her into third place. And he's doing that, of course, by taking her on her own ground with those working class, often unemployed people who are very angry about their own economic situation. If you like, she provides them with one scapegoat, immigrants. He provides them with another, the corrupt financial system, as he would put it, which according to them is why they're out of work and finding it difficult to make the ends of the month meet. Now, he seems to be doing even better than she is with that particular demographic. So he's doing better and better, but what's he going to do with it after that first round if he does get in third place and do really well? Is he going to become a minister in an Hollande government? That's what the socialists are hoping, because they want to be sure that his voters are going to back him. But back in Le Canard Enchaîné, they always have the information in that satirical paper, and they reckon he's going to refuse to back Hollande into the second round unless Hollande agrees to hold a referendum on the European Budget Treaty. Now, Hollande has, of course, said that he will renegotiate it, but he's very unlikely to want to put it to a referendum. But that's what Mélenchon reckons. He's going to make his next personal call after this election, trying to call President Hollande to get that referendum. But apparently his allies, the Communist Party, are trying to stop him going out on his own with these kind of big campaigns. They're trying to bring him back into line.
Now we're going to stick with L'Humanité, and in there's some very unflattering news for Marine Le Pen.
Yes, in here, effectively, they've been round to Marine Le Pen's house. They've got some pictures of it on the inside. They say that the candidate who says that she's a candidate of the working classes is in fact living in a chateau that was built with the proceeds of a factory once owned by her father, Jean-Marie Le Pen's family, which was mostly staffed by immigrants, which they think is rather hypocritical.
And Libération, it's looking at what might happen immediately after Sunday's first round of voting.
Yes, now, of course, polls close in the evening on the 22nd of April. All broadcasters and newspapers, websites, whoever, are officially banned from publishing any exit polls or partial results until 8 p.m. at the very earliest. That's what Libération has put on its front page. They've got a mock tweet there on the front page with someone tweeting all the different percentages, and it's obvious the point that they're making. In the era of Twitter and Facebook and social networks, is it even possible for the election authorities to block any partial results coming out until 8 p.m. in the evening? It's really pretty unlikely. unlikely. But whether or not big media organisations like Libération themselves will decide to defy the law and tweet the partial results as soon as they have them, well, from the tone of their editorial, I'd say it sounds to me like that's what they plan to do, but we'll have to wait and see.
We will indeed have to wait and see. Thank you very much, Elena, for that look at the French papers.